there's an awful lot going on in the city, and some of it I will repeat because, well, the first thing I had on my list was Town Center Grand Opening, April 27th. That is one of those so long awaited, but you know, it's something we've done as thoughtfully as we possibly could. You know, what would be there if there weren't a city? You know, there's like 300 garden apartments right across from Forum that we've got, and it took so long to do it because it was kind of one of those labors of love, and that you think about it, you want it to be a certain way. I see heads going up and down with the council members and things like that. So anyway, 4 p.m. is kickoff with parade. I think there's going to be a ribbon cutting at about 3, but that's a smaller group for, you know, just get it over with. You've officially done it. 4 o'clock is when the party starts with the parade, and then 4:30 until 8 p.m. food, activities, and more. All kinds of stuff from there. And then at 8 p.m., let me see the gray hair quotient here. Okay, I'll talk to this side of the young people over there. Atlanta Rhythm Section. If you hadn't heard, yeah, they're going to be there. I think there's one still remaining, or a couple of remaining members. Yeah, they're good. You know, they've been around. And I will plug our community development folks. They have got, and our outreach council, those folks put together a list of entertainment. It's like one thing right after another. It's going to be a great summer because we're going to have events. Now, and then the one thing, after Atlanta Rhythm Section goes for a while, there will be a lighted drone show. And that's one of those things that, if you think about technology, you can always do fireworks. But how many cities do drone shows, lighted drone shows that kind of highlight the technology we have here? So that's going to be for the Town Center. The Peachy Corners Festival, I think June 7th, Friday evening, is going to be the concert. And the concert, it's going to be 2 bands, and the bands are?
Rumors, which is a Fleetwood Mac tribute band.
Okay, Fleetwood Mac, and who's the warm-up band? Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Oh,
So there's 2 cover bands that are really good ones. And then June 8th and 9th, same location. I think the Peachy Corners Festival Committee is talking about doing the festival at the Town Center next year, if all other things being equal. But right now, it's really, once you see the sod, they just got the sod in. So it really wouldn't be a good idea to try to mobilize and do that. So we'll get it next year if it's doable. A lot of economic development news.
Derby Day.
Yes, Derby Day.
You're going to have events Derby Day too. You're going to have the horse races on Green Day, stuff like that.
Yes, I don't have that on my notes to comment on, so thank you very much, Councilman. Yeah, we're apparently going to have all kinds of events that will be coming out, and we'll be pushing those out through social media and the various other kinds of things we're going to do. We've had a lot of companies. We had a meeting the other day with the Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. And when you meet with those folks, you know, you would think they would send out one person. They sent 9 people out. I know, sorry. That's good. That means you're on the radar. And what it is they really are impressed with the things, the news that keeps coming out about Peachtree Corners. Mass Mutual moved from another one of those companies, like Crawford and Company and CGS, where you had hundreds of employees coming from that area over in Sandy Springs, around Perimeter Mall. It's just so darn congested over there that they're coming over here, and they're very excited to be here. ASHRAE, I don't know if anybody heard about that one. That's the American Association of Heating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration. Geez, sounds like a labor union. No, this is a big deal. This is the high-tech stuff. This is if there are any advances, and I have a corporate realtor back there that is nodding knowingly, that if there are any advances in technology in this, it comes out of this group, and it's phones for this group into the community. CarMax, Brightree, we did have a few companies leaving. You know, it was played right after the transit vote. It was spun this way and that. Hey, people are going to do what they're going to do. God bless them. Good luck. Prototype Prime is doing business income is doing very well. We got if you hadn't heard, a $1.8 million grant, economic development grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce. And the only conditions were that we continue to be an incubator. That's not going to be a problem in terms of strings attached. What we're going to do with it is buy the building, which will free up a lot of rent. But it enables us to have a lot more flexibility with the building if you own it and you can do more with it. How many people have driven on Technology Parkway and seen what we're doing out here? Yeah, okay. We're just killing trees, I'm sorry. No. The first one will be recovered in its entirety. The rest of the islands will be replanted, just a little bit now. So, believe me, we're not trying to kill trees. I don't think I could live in the community if I did that. My friends would stop me. So anyway, it's one of the things. Thank you for telling me to hold the microphone a little higher. At any rate, that is becoming a very important subject, the Intelligent Mobility Track partnership with Sprint. They gave us $500,000 and they're installing what's called 5G. All of your cell phones are 4G. 5G is 20 times faster. If you're going to monitor autonomous vehicles, that latency, that lag time between sending the signal and getting the signal back, you want it, if there's a car coming at you, you want it, you guys get the point. Sprint's and what we're hearing, we have had national and international interest. We've had countries express interest in coming here, and so this is going very well, and we hope to continue. And let me just kind of make sure my notes are, because otherwise I'll ramble worse than I do now. Phase 1 started recently when that opened up. It will be done by June. In other words, we'll have it all paved by then. Then Phase 2 starts. What you'll see in Phase 2 is a big digital display that'll be an announcement who's testing on the track, or a message from a sponsor or a member, Sprint partnership with them, things like that. I think the 5G rollout is being put on the roof here and on Prototype Prime within the month. If I'm not mistaken, it will be very soon. The significance of this, I want to share with you. You might have heard that we got a smart city, a 50 in the top 50 smart cities award. Did anybody hear that? They're not talking about a national award. This is a Planet Earth award. The top 50 top smart city projects, in the world, and we got one of them for that project out there. Because there's only one other track like that in the world, and it's in Sweden. And so this is a very significant thing. That's why we're getting a lot of interest from a lot of people. That's not the only thing we're doing with Prototype Prime. Everybody's heard about the coding school, Georgia Tech Professional Education Coding School we put there. It was such a big success. The class hadn't even graduated, and they said, we'd like to start, instead of teaching one class, we want to teach 4 classes. There will be a Georgia Tech Professional Education class taught there every day of the week. They want to teach 2 coding schools and 1 data analytics, and then the second data analytics will have to be taught in this room. So it takes us on our route to live, work, play, learn. So, and it's not a 4-year college, but it's a step in the right direction. We're also going to have a Coding for Kids boot camp this summer. It's another one of those things that will be done at Prototype Prime. So the roundabout on Meadowlark Bridge, they're going to be pouring the concrete form so it'll actually start to look like a round circle probably this week or next. So it'll start to shape up. Should be done by September. And the groundbreaking for the multi-use trail here in Tech Park, where Echo Lakeside Apartments, the lakes that are there, we're going to break ground on the multi-use trail. It's kind of a park there. It's kind of going to be the trailhead to start the multi-use trail. Starts in May, ends in August. Within the city of Peachtree Corners, at the risk of getting me going on another one of those, and 15 minutes from now I'll be done. Think about it like this. One of our objectives is to take people off the streets as much as we possibly can, right? I'm fond of saying we've got 43,000 citizens and 43,000 jobs. We're 1 for 1. Jobs to citizens, and it's been that way for years. It didn't just happen this way. Paul Duke is the one there. Question is, how many of those people live in Peachtree Corners that work here? Less than 15%. So people from Johns Creek, Dunwoody, Norcross come here. And once they're here, they got to go to lunch, or they got to go to the grocery store, So the idea that we have, and is something that is, we call it phase 2, is once we prove the concept with autonomous vehicles, and a lot of it's going to be once autonomous vehicles are developed more fully by the big auto manufacturers, you're going to see, we have about 1,000 hotel rooms at this end of the strip, okay? Hilton and Marriott are full-service hotels, but that's 1,000 hotel rooms, more than any other city, more than any other place in Gwinnett County. What's at that end? Town center. And with alcohol involved, you want people to be able to safely go from one end to the other. So if you, a couple of 3 years from now, 4 years from now, watch the medians on the sides. It's a very wide sidewalk going up 141. You might see autonomous vehicles making a regular track back and forth. Matter of fact, probably the first one we'll do will be up Technology Parkway. Cut across Wesleyan's space there and come up behind over there to the town center. We've looked at routes like that. So those are the things that we're looking at. When you talk about some of those other programs, we will need help from the state to finance those kinds of things, or everybody's got to chip in a penny on their sales tax, or those kinds of things. But things that are within our purview, that's one of the things I love about our council and me. We don't know, we're a new city. We don't know what we're not supposed to do, so we undertake those kinds of projects.